Welcome, guys, to my. I don't even know how to do this. I can't lie. I'm not normally used to streaming live. Normally, sometime when you're making videos on YouTube, you normally prepare an introduction for a video. But look, welcome, guys, to my video. Welcome, guys, to my live stream. Today, I thought, you know what? I come back from work, 8 p.m. I thought to myself, what is there to do? And then I thought, now that the World Cup is over, I feel like our thought process, I feel like our attention has now turned back to club football. It was an amazing World Cup. I'm not going to lie to you. Hands up, it was an amazing World Cup. Congratulations to Spain. Obviously, I predicted Spain was going to win, so not really a shock. But anywho, now that the World Cup has finished, we are now back to club football. Pre-season has started. Every single English club is now back to pre-season, ready and training for the upcoming season in August. But I thought, what better way to kick off this season for me personally, with a lot of ideas coming to this channel. What better way to kick off this channel than to do a Premier League live prediction? Obviously now it's a new era. It's not going to be easy, you know. So I'm making multiple predictions on who will win the Premier League, who will qualify for the Champions League, who will qualify for European competition, Europa League and Conference League, mid-table teams, relegation battle. And I don't really want to waste no time. So let's get into it. With some context as well, I feel like there is a lot of context to play into a lot of teams that I'll be making my predictions on. And I feel like it's fair, you know, it's fair. And I kind of, before I start with this prediction, I kind of want to say a lot like last season was one of the most questionable seasons for me. You know, not even just as a Liverpool fan, but I just mean all round. It was weird. You know, obviously Arsenal finally, after so long, finishing second 3 years in a row, they finally got the job done in winning the Premier League. You got Aston Villa getting Champions League football, Bournemouth getting Europa League football, Sunderland first season back in the top flight getting Champions Europa League football, Brighton Conference League. It's crazy. But this season, I feel like it might be a bit spicy. And I'm going to make my first prediction with my third team, the favourite to win the Premier League this season, the champions of England, Arsenal. So, like I said, a lot of context will be spoken here with Arsenal, in where I do believe what will happen with Arsenal throughout the season. And it's kind of tough to really say, to be honest, because obviously last year, like I mentioned, finishing second 3 years in a row, Arteta finally got over the line. But this is what I'm saying. Now that Arteta finally got over the line, is this Arteta's opportunity? Is this an opportunity for Arteta now to now play the football where he can finally be free, no pressure, and allow himself to actually implement a style that he always wanted to play and just, you know, maybe dominate, maybe play exciting football, maybe not rely on set pieces, who knows? But my prediction, it's tough because you got Saliba, apparently injured, back injury, back problems. You got Saka, I think Achilles problem, Rice, back and hamstring. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot. A lot of the main players are drained. Their body had, I won't say failed them, but you can see the impact of them winning the Premier League. Not even just winning the Premier League, but reaching the final of the Champions League, reaching the final of the Carabao Cup, doing relatively okay in the FA Cup. You can see how physically draining that can be on a lot of players. And we can see, you know, in Declan Rice, in Saliba, in Saka, especially in the World Cup, you know. So if I had to put context into it where they do stay out for respectively long period of time, I see Arsenal having a Liverpool season where we won the league in 1920, but then the next season you could see that like we were drained. I don't know if I could compare it to the 2021 season or compare it to the 23-24 where the legs had gone in a lot of players. You could see that the previous season the competitiveness had really taken a toll on the player physically. So if I had to pick where Arsenal could challenge and could finish this season, it might be a big statement, but again, I do think, especially with the window, they've not really done anything in the window so far. I don't think they've really made a transfer, apart from that the player they brought from Club Brugge, and they're so Trossard as well, but there've not been any superstar signings yet. But as of now, I would say Arsenal would go in maybe Champions League qualification. But I don't mean challenging for the league or anything like that. I do mean I think they will finish maybe 4th or 5th. I think they will struggle to kind of put in a run of a winning run for like a long period of time. I think they maybe win one, draw, and then lose a couple. But I don't think they will be consistent enough to win the Premier League. So that's my prediction on Arsenal. Whew. This next team, the transfer window has been a bit special for them. Not in a good way. After winning the Europa League, you would think they would kind of buy some more players, maybe keep the players they had to build maybe I wouldn't say a dynasty, but a team that a lot would be kind of afraid of. But they have sold a lot of their star players, shockingly. And I'm talking about Aston Villa. Aston Villa, last season, I think, was challenging for the league for a small period of time. Small period of time they were challenging for the league. So, but I did like Unai Emery in what he was doing in the play style. I love the midfield with Onana, Tielemans and Rodgers. But this is the problem. That three diamond midfield was probably, me personally, was the main reason why Aston Villa did really well, was able to keep up. But the injuries, and now the main players have left the club, and also Watkins getting older, McGinn getting older. The club is a lot weaker. The squad is a lot weaker. So you got Morgan Rodgers had left for Chelsea for 117 million. Tielemans, shockingly, signed for Man United. And then you got Onana out possibly for a majority of the season due to an ACL injury. Camara still injured. Don't know when he will be back. And then Watkins, he has not really convinced me for a while in terms of his performance last season especially. So I don't really know with Watkins. But they've also brought a Canadian Cam. I thought he did really well at the World Cup, but I still don't think that would be enough to kind of fill the boot of Morgan Rodgers and Tielemans. Like I said, that midfield was a big reason why they did really well, especially getting in Champions League. Obviously, right now, I don't really know yet their plan is in terms of addition to their squad. But if I had to predict right now where I do believe where they will finish in the league, especially with the schedules with Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, I do think Aston Villa will finish. I think they will finish. This is a big. I think they'll finish mid-table, but not low in the mid-table. I think they will. This is only right now. I don't know who they signed at this moment in time, but this is only right at this moment. You know, they've only signed one player. They've let more out than in, and that quality that they've left out has left a massive gap. You know, in Tielemans and Rodgers. So I'm not saying they will finish low in the mid-table, but I do believe they will finish maybe 13th, 14th, because their squad, in terms of Champions League, in terms of all the competition they're competing with, I don't think it would be sustainable enough to require staying at that high level for a long period of time, especially in the league. They will have a similar performance like Newcastle did last season, you know? So, yeah. Ooh, and this is a good one. I mean, I don't know about this one, because last season for me with this team, when they sold a lot of players, especially in terms of the impact of the players they sold, you know, in Kirkes, in Dean, I think who else did they sell last? They sold quite a lot of players, Bournemouth, and that's who I want to talk about, Bournemouth. You know, I think Bournemouth are such a quality team. They've also lost a big personnel in the reason why they did really well last season in Areola. But they do have a really good manager in Marco Rose. So who knows with Bournemouth? Their first season in a European competition, but again, they've gotten more weaker than they have stronger. So I don't know with Bournemouth. I've not really seen Bournemouth ever really buy anyone to the squad. Let's actually have a look in terms of Bournemouth incoming this transfer window, because I've not seen anything right now. I've not seen anything at all. So let's actually see who Bournemouth has brought this season. Okay. So in terms of outgoing, the right back Alex Jimenez has left the club. They bought a striker in Alvaro Rodriguez, can't lie, beast in FM. What I'm seeing from here right now, they've not seemed to be any quality players that they have brought in so far. And obviously with Alex Scott right now rumoured to go to Chelsea, obviously not signing a contract, that could also play a massive part in Bournemouth doing well. So again, with the schedule, with everything, and also the lack of addition towards the squad, I do believe that Bournemouth will finish mid-table, personally. Right. Next squad, Brentford. Again, I want to be kind of fair on every team I go through this season, but Brentford, let's have a look at Brentford incoming as well. I don't really see Brentford. I'm not seeing Brentford buy anyone this year so far as well, you know. So, but before I actually get into talking about Brentford last season actually was incredible. Again, one of the teams that lost a big, massive figure in why they did well in Thomas Frank, brought them up to the Premier League, held them up really well, and left the club. And shockingly, they set piece coach took over and actually did really well and finished 9th, just short of getting European football. But again, so far, okay, they brought in a couple of players that I can see of. In my personal opinion, let's see. Let's actually kind of like gather this properly. So yeah, Brentford. Again, last season they did really well. I think they exceed expectations in where they finished in the league. But with no European football, I do believe that they probably will do really well. But these are all rumours. Where can I go for? Here we go. Here we are. Okay, so they brought Jaden Anthony from Burnley. A very good player. Callum Wilson, Nunes. They brought a reasonably decent amount of players from Sheffield and from the Championship. But again, those type of quality, I don't think they would do any better than what they've done last season. So with not much to say really, I would say Brentford again, mid-table. Mid-table. I think Brentford will finish mid-table. Yeah. Not really much to say about Brentford, but hopefully maybe they might prove me wrong. Who knows? They might prove me wrong. Next team. Okay. Outside of Liverpool, Brighton's actually one of my favourite teams to watch. But they've lost a good defender in Van Hickey, but they also brought in a very good defender in Luca from Tottenham. Bargain, by the way. But I'm not saying because of that they might do well. But the thing is with Brentford, every single year they do kind of stagnate. You know, they drop between maybe the 6th to 10th rate. So I do think again in terms of how they do, but that's only, it depends on everyone around them. And also the addition to the squad as well. Let's actually have a look at Brentford on Brighton, on who they brought to the squad as well. Only one I can think of is the former Tottenham defender. With Brighton, I think, okay, they've actually gotten quite a decent amount of players back from loan, and you know what? Okay. And the manager as well, probably the youngest manager in the Prem. He's decent. Brighton, they play this flowing, confident football, playing from the back, risky, but they still manage to get it done. But they're also an aging squad. Matoma, Danny Welbeck, I think, yeah, pretty much Lewis Dunk. I really don't really have much of a say on Brighton, to be fair. With Brighton, I'll say again, I think mid-table. I think mid-table. I think maybe, mid-table. This is the big one. This is actually a exciting one that I want to talk about I might actually stay in the topic for a while. A manager that I actually was really interested in taking over Liverpool after Slot actually managed to go to a club that, in my personal opinion, hasn't been run very well over the last 5 years. Abramovich, I'm not going to lie to you. Abramovich, in terms of running Chelsea, in terms of investing in Chelsea, what he has done, you can't fault it. You have to rate it. Champions League, 2 Champions League, Premier League, he brought Chelsea on the map. He put Chelsea on the map. But ever since he left, it has just gone downhill. In terms of the investment, in terms of the addition to the squad, in terms of the coaches. The board don't know what they're doing. And again, you know, that plays a part in where I do believe Chelsea will finish. But also, Xabi Alonso has been in this situation before with Bayer Leverkusen, where Bayer Leverkusen wasn't doing well, wasn't doing the best, and they had a lot of players that were mediocre. The club wasn't run well, but Xabi Alonso in these type of situations knows how to deal with this type of problems. He knows how to solve it. And that's what makes me believe that Chelsea will finish. I think personally, especially with no Champions League, no Europa League, no European competition at all, just FA Cup, Carabao Cup, that's it. With the signing of Morgan Rogers, obviously they've lost Cucurella. Who else did they lose? Who else did they lose as well? They've lost quite a few players. They've lost quite a few players. Let's have a look at Chelsea. Who Chelsea has brought. So far, all I've known is they brought Morgan Rogers, and they have sold Cucurella, and they brought Barco, but that's not really buying Barco, is it? So, don't know what's going on here. What is going on here? Yeah, here we go. Also, you got is it Quaeda, and they got you know what, that Italian right back from Atalanta was actually decent, and they've actually got fairly a decent talent. So I think in terms of where Chelsea will finish this season, it's very tough to say, but I think they could also be very surprising. I think Chelsea, personally, for me, with Xabi Alonso, with no European football, with the addition of Morgan Rogers, if Xabi Alonso install the same type of play style into Chelsea, with obviously the wing back being the main focal point with the cams as well, I do think also with better addition to the squad, hopefully get a better goalkeeper, a centre back, I do think Chelsea, this will be a shock. I think they will be here. I think they will be challenging. I think they will get a Champions League qualification, but I will even go further and say I think they will challenge for the league. I think they will challenge for the league. I think they will be very strong, but I also think it won't be a consistent back in the day, as you can say, with the Liverpool, Man City, but I think it will be up and down, but they will still be there hanging on. That's only because I say it's because no Champions League, no Europa League, their schedule is completely light. They might do Man United. They might do Man United last season, but better. Especially with a much more established manager. Hey, Everton, it's the same thing every year with Everton, right? Every year, they invest into the squad, but the players they invest into the squad are decent talent, but the managers don't know how to get the best out of them. And I'm talking about David Moyes. Yes, David Moyes have done well over the last couple of years with West Ham, and people thought him making a sensational return to Everton. People would thought that like Everton would do well, but it doesn't always work like that. I don't really have much to say on Everton, so personally for me with Everton, I would say they would finish. I think they will finish here. I think they will finish there. So Coventry with Lampard, this is an opportunity for Lampard to kind of show what he can do in terms of management. I've always rated Lampard, especially his first tender at Chelsea. I thought he did really well until he got backed the next season with Havertz, with Werner, all of that. He actually underperformed with the squad he had. But this is tough. This is tough because I've already got quite a few. I can also, bearing in mind, I might even rotate and change my mind as things go. But if I had to pick where Coventry would go, that's dependent on the quality signing they make in the team, and also Lampard being consistent in his tactics and adapting. This would be a shock. Nah. Actually, nah. Relegation. I think relegation. I don't think for me the squad will be sustainable enough to be able to acquire a certain level to stay into the Prem. I don't think so, but it could be a shock. Who knows? Who knows? This is what the Premier League is all about. This is what football is all about. But that's what I think. You know, this is what I think. And then you got Rahul Aribola. Is that how you pronounce his name? Hopefully that's how you pronounce his name. Former Real Madrid player, former Real Madrid manager for like 4 months. Taken over Fulham after Marco Silva has left Fulham. People have said with Fulham, with Marco Silva over the last couple of years, that Marco Silva had done the best he could. He's actually exceeded expectation, especially with the quality of players and the squad he had. So for someone like Rahul to come in and basically like implement that same expectation, that same standard, it will be a bit difficult. But also, as well, I do think with Fulham, I really don't have much to say on them. I do think Fulham would probably be if they still have the same squad with Robinson, with Iwobi, with Smith Rowe, with I don't think Raul Mendes went to Wolves. I remember that. So they've gotten a bit weaker, but I don't think they've gotten stronger. They've lost Harry Wilson as well to Leeds. I do think it will be around here. So about 3 more can go into the mid-table. And we've got Hull City. Hull City. Got nothing to say about them, to be honest. I'm just going to get straight to the point and put them right here. I have not really heard... That's only because of my lack of knowledge on Hull City. And the squad, and obviously, you know. But if they invested like they did with Sunderland, who knows, they can surprise me. They can surprise me. But that's my stance on Hull City. Not so much. Ipswich. Again, I think the same. Again, I think this is a bit boring. It's a bit meh. I think the same squad. Actually. No. I think the same squad that came up. Nah. I don't know about this one. Because, guys, I might swap here. Nah. I think the same squad that goes up are going back down. I don't think any of the 3 that came up would do a Sunderland. Any of the 3 that came up would do... no, that's it. I don't think any of the 3 would do a Sunderland. I think they'll all go straight back down. And I think Leeds United... Obviously, they bought Harry Wilson. Leeds United again. Oh, I think they will be in that relegation battle. But this is the thing. I got an idea. I might actually change my mind here. I might swap Coventry to mid-table and Leeds getting relegated. I think so. I think Daniel Farke, nah. I think they'll get found out. I don't think, apart from Harry Wilson, apart from a couple of players there added to the squad, I don't think Leeds were doing well. I don't think so. They had a horrible season last season. I know they've kind of made up for it in the second half, but that was lucky. But I think second season syndrome for championship teams, it can bite you. And I think Leeds United will get relegated. So that's my stance on Leeds United. And then we talk about Manchester City, Enzo Maresca, new manager, new era. This is tough because they still got the same quality of players in there, but this is now a different system. And I rated Enzo Maresca at Chelsea. You know, he did well, he done well, and he, you know, so that's what I do think. Man City, I don't think Man City will challenge for the league. I don't think Man City will challenge for the league at all. I think with Man City, I think they would just be right there. I think they would just be maybe third in the league. But I might change my mind. You guys are probably thinking, hold up a second. You've already picked Arsenal, who won the Champions League. Man City won 4 in a row. There's no way you think you know who's going to win the league. It's only going to change as time goes on. I don't know yet. Because it's very tough. This season is hard to predict. You know? It's hard to predict. So it's not easy. And then we get onto the next club of Manchester. Manchester United. Andres Santos. Who else did they buy as well? Andres Santos. They bought Tielemans. They got a good squad. And they got a good manager. But this time they did really well last season. They did really well. I'm not going to lie to you. I hold my hands up. They did really well. They finished third. I think third in the league. They finished third. Done really well. But I think the reason why I do believe they're really well in the table is due to the lack of schedule. They got kicked out in the first round of the FA Cup. Kicked out in the first round of the Carabao Cup. I think now this time, this is where the big clubs really show if they can step up in terms of consistency. And with Man United, with the depth, the quality, Carrick might be a big one to say. I think he'd just be another Ole. And this is the big one. With the schedules coming in, with the manager now having to juggle between players, can't fit in the same squad every single time, same starting 11. I think also the style of play, how easy they are to bypass in the midfield, defensively still an issue. I tell you this has been a cycle of Man United all this long. I think Man United I think Man United will be right there. That's what I think. I think Man United will be right there. So, yeah. Pretty much. So, not really much to say Man United. I think, again, they can maybe prove me wrong. I don't know. If they manage, then they've actually found a manager that allowed to finally break that curse, break that cycle of taking one step forward, but one step backward. Stagnant. It's been 14 years now without a Premier League. Like, you know, it's getting dark. Every single top 6 team has won a trophy, a major trophy. Man United are the only team to not win a trophy so far in the last 14 years. And when I say trophy, I mean Premier League, Champions League. You know, you get the idea. So, anyway. I feel the next club, right? I feel so sorry for Newcastle. I do. I really do feel sorry for them. Because for the last 3 years, they have been done dirty by FFP. And they've also been done dirty by the club around them. They wanted João Pedro. João Pedro gone to Chelsea. They wanted that to stay, gone to Liverpool. Gordon, gone to Barcelona. There's a lot to say. It gets to a point. We'll be here all day. But now Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali this season has... Bruno Guimaraes wants to leave and Tonali is left. And they have shown no sign of... Newcastle have shown no sign of improving. I think I might have to swap. I might have to go Aston Villa here. And I think I might have to go Newcastle here. But I think Newcastle will finish in the lower. Like maybe 14, 15. Eddie Howe. Tactics found out. Quality of players in that squad. No investment. No addition. More outgoing than incoming. I don't see no positive for Newcastle. I really don't. I really don't. You know. So, in terms of Newcastle, please prove me wrong. Please try. Get someone quality to come to your club. If you manage to lose Guimaraes, I think this is a big statement to say. But I do believe that Newcastle... I think Newcastle might be in a relegation battle. I don't think that's a bad... I don't think that's a bad thing to say. I don't think that's a big... It's a big statement, but also at the same time, I kind of hear it. But, yeah. Sunderland, I think... I don't know. I think Sunderland... I think they will do well. I think Sunderland will finish in the top half of the mid-table. But I also do think they will do really well in Europa League. But that's only based on the addition they brought into the squad. Let's actually have a look with Sunderland, because I actually am really fond of Sunderland. But with the squad they got right now and everything, and they've actually managed to keep in Xhaka, who is a big part. Okay. I don't think that's enough with the quality of play for Sunderland. I don't think that's enough. Maybe the manager can surprise me, but I don't think this is enough. No. So with Sunderland, I would say you know what? Boom. Boom. That's what I say. I say Bournemouth will probably be in the Conference League section, but Sunderland will be in the mid-table. And Forest, again, I do believe, now that they got Oliver Glasner and that type of style he played, the formation he did with Crystal Palace, I think again, yeah. But I don't know if my math is wrong here. I don't think my math is wrong here. No, I don't think my math is wrong because we got, let's say for example, we got second here, we got third, we got fourth, we got maybe 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. So, oh, we got 18. Have I added? Is there someone here that's not supposed to be in the? Have I added more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, I thought my math was wrong. But anyway, yeah. Tottenham. I don't really know with Tottenham. De Zerbi, again, played that risky football, that style of play, attacking, and they've actually got quality players coming in with Fernandez from West Ham, quality midfielder. Tonali, Maddison coming back from injury. But who else is also, they've also signed as well? I think they signed an attacker. I'm sure they signed an attacker. I can't remember. Let's have a look with Tottenham. But again, Tottenham, after a very underwhelming season, basically fighting for relegation battle, they have to do a lot better. Especially with a manager that's a lot of quality. Andrew Robertson, Van Hecke, Sensei, they've got quite good depth. They've lost Luca. Okay. But this is the issue though. Their forward line is not the best. Their midfield, they have actually added some quality, some physicality, some experience, some technicality. That's decent. With Maddison coming back as well, beautiful. I think with Tottenham, boom. That if we actually get the additional spot for Champions League qualification. That I think obviously 5 teams will get Champions League, and I think Tottenham will be there to finish 5th. Hey! My favorite. This is tough. After an underwhelming season last season, luckily, due to everyone being ass around us, we got Champions League football. Look, right now, the transfer window is being very quiet. I like what I'm seeing in pre-season training, but we still have a lot of injuries. Lack of depth in the attack. No wingers. The midfield still need a lot of... There's a lot of issues everywhere. We could talk about Konate leaving. We could talk about Bradley injured. Frimpong, people say Frimpong is not good enough to kind of take that role in being the starting right back. Left back, obviously, I always said that I'm not worried about the left back position. But the midfield, the quality of the players in that midfield, they are the same midfield that won in the league. They are the same midfield that done really well under Klopp. But I think structure issue was the reason why a lot of those players in the midfield didn't do well. But this season with Areola, maybe that can be different. Maybe in terms of structure, in terms of pressing, intensity, duel winning, battle, aggression, creativity, it could be a lot better. So Bosley stepping up this season, signing a new contract, showing what it means to be a leader now that Salah has left the club. This could be it. And also as well, Florian Wirtz, again, this last season was a write-off, like I mentioned, with Arnold Slot, with the structure, with the tactics. Last season was a write-off for a lot of these players. But now, again, it comes to a point, okay, we need to start seeing a little bit of quality, a little bit of something that allows us to believe in you guys. So, and then the front three is the main issue. I don't know why I really have the champion. This is why, again, I'm a rotate around. Mohamed Salah, again, one of the reason why we won the Premier League 2 years ago. One of the greatest players, contributing fairly amount of goals, stepping up in big games. Players like Isaac, I know he's injured, but players like Hugo, players like Vert, possibly even Rio, but he is still young. I do not want to put that pressure on him. Somebody got to step up in terms of numbers, in terms of impact, in terms of presence. Unless someone do that, then I can fairly say we could maybe be somewhere up there. But if no one does that, and everyone has an average type of season, but we still do well, then I would say, especially with the manager that plays attacking football, intense football, I maybe have to... This is tough. I think Man City will win the league, and we will probably be in the Champions League qualification. I think we'll probably finish. I think, again, if I had to change it around, it would be Chelsea there, Arsenal third, us fourth, Tottenham fifth. And then, obviously, Crystal Palace, I think they would probably just be in the mid-table section. And yeah, that's literally my Premier League prediction for the season. I think if any of you guys look at this right now and think, look, you have a lot that you would want to change, or you have a different opinion or whatever, let me know. Let me know right now, you know, because it's tough. This is a new era with Pep gone, no Jurgen Klopp, only Arteta, only manager in that league that ever won the Premier League. He technically is the favourite, but with context of the intense schedule they had last season, would their body be able to handle it again this season? That's hence why I got them third. It's hard to say. This season is unpredictable, but Man City do still have a lot of quality players, and they could do the Liverpool with Arnold Slot where we won the Premier League, where they still have that style of play with Pep, but they will be able to bring it in here and do well. But going forward, I don't know. But yeah, that's my Premier League prediction. I feel like this season I'm excited. I feel like, oh my goodness, I feel like there will be a new Premier League winning manager, and it could be any of these managers in the top 6. In the top 5, sorry. So it's really difficult. I think I don't really, I'm looking at it right now, I don't really know where I could change, and I really don't know where I've gone wrong. I think I've been fair, especially on my team. Unless we recruit more as well, Liverpool, unless we recruit some more, add in a couple of players, do well, then who knows, I think we could maybe be there. But in terms of everything else, I do think City will win, Chelsea will be around there, Arsenal will be, you know, around there but not as consistent, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United, we get the idea. So that's my Premier League prediction, guys. Let me know what you guys think in terms of this Premier League prediction. Let me know if you guys would change anything here. Let me know who your Premier League winning manager is. Let me know who would challenge for the league. Let me know who you guys believe will get relegated. Who would be the underachievers this season, the overachievers, and the what did they call it? The dark horse. But honestly, 4 more weeks into the new season, it's about to go crazy. But other than that, thank you guys for joining my live stream. Thank you guys for watching and being a part of this. If you guys want more content like this, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.